Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mei Leaf. Welcome to another episode of reviewing supermarket teas. In these videos, I blind taste teas which have been sent to us by tea heads from around the world, purchased from their local supermarkets. I know nothing about them. I need to guess what the tea type is, try to figure out the price point and score the tea all the way from 0 poison up to the lofty heights of 10. 10 pinnacle tea, meaning that the tea is good enough to be selected for Mei Leaf teas. Now, we've been doing a few of these videos and I have to say I've been very underwhelmed with supermarket teas. We never expect supermarkets to match the quality of specialty tea sellers because their buyers have a very different set of pressures that dictate what they purchase, but we're hoping that these videos will just increase the quality a little bit, give consumers a little bit more to enjoy from the supermarket shelves. And today's teas come from K-Citymarket in Finland, kindly sent to us by PuErh from Turku in Finland. I've been to Turku, very beautiful part of the world, have very fond memories of that area of the world. Thank you, PuErh. I apologize if I'm butchering any pronunciations of Finnish words or your name, of course, PuErh, but let's get stuck in. I'm excited to see what Finland has to offer. I'm gonna warm up my tea lifted Guy 1 and I'm approaching this session full of confidence that we are gonna have some great teas. You gotta be positive. Okay, so we start off with, I'll just put it in this Guy 1 lid to start off with. We begin with a green oolong from China. The reason why I know it's from China is because the style of ball rolling is much more rough in China. If you look at Taiwanese ball roll teas, they tend to be just a little bit more neater because it tends to be machine rolled. Looks decent, you know, decent colors going on, nothing too uneven, a little bit more sort of kelpie greens and then lighter greens, but that's as you'd expect. I'm pretty sure this is from China because the ball rolling looks more Chinese style than Taiwanese style, but could be wrong about that because it is quite neat. But I would say it's most likely a Chinese Tieguanyin or a Chinese green oolong. There are plenty of these in the world, but let's see what this smells like. Okay. Piggy here to enjoy the session with me. Ooh, not a bad start. Classic aromas of more of a traditional, so I'm getting that dried apricot, a little bit of sour fermented yogurt or kombucha. There's some flowers happening here, a little bit of magnolia going on. And just apricot jam, like really lovely apricot jam. PuErh, this is a good start, judging by aroma. So good, in fact, that my little niching pig deserves a little dousing. Okay, let's not get our hopes up. Let's do smell wet leaf. A bit, ooh, peachy. So a bit lighter than I would have wanted, but I am getting like peach candy, sour apple candies, peach candy, sort of peach flavored iced teas. You know, that very specific peach flavoring, which is natural, so it's not a flavored tea, but it's sort of got this very intense concentrated peach aromatic, a little bit of a nutty, like hazelnuts mixed with cardboard. So it's got a bit of that papery but then nutty note. Not the freshest of green oolongs, but pretty good. And I have to say these have been sitting, you know, with us for a while because we've got a backlog of supermarket teas to taste. Creamy as well, yogurty, very nice. 91 degrees, that'll do. I'll hit it straight on the leaf. and let that brew up. The rinse didn't cause those balls to open up very quickly, which is again a pretty good sign. Nothing is exhaustive, but a pretty good sign that these leaves are decent quality, that they're not some sort of thin, brittle leaves. The rolling style looks Chinese, but is quite neat. It's a neat rolling style, so, you know, could be from Taiwan, but most likely Chinese. And the smell, very, very nice. Really, really enjoyable smell. In fact, if I'd been sent this sample, I would be very excited to try it, which is, as anybody who's seen any of these supermarket tea videos will attest, is a rarity with these kinds of teas. Okay, let's see what we got here. Would be helpful if I had a cup. Where's a cup? Okay, be right back. Okay, got myself a nice Royal Lotus cup. The color of the liquid looks lovely, clear, bright, got a nice luminous quality to it. A little bit of thickness going on. Look at those bubbles, they ain't moving. So all signs are good that this is a half decent tea. Half decent. Quite a thick texture, actually. The taste is a bit thin. It's a bit underwhelming. It's a bit, you're hoping that more of those aromatics are going to appear in the taste, but the aftertaste is there. Creamy. A little bit of those custard apple and pears, and just a nice little fruity, fresh, but still quite transparent and clear and clean in terms of character, which is nice. There's nothing sort of fuggy, muddy, or cloudy about the taste. It's very clean. A little bit of an icing sugar sweetness. The finish is just very fresh, like jasmine and apple granita. That would be, ooh, I feel like that now. Something just very sort of fresh, floral, bright, clean, but with some residual fruity sweetness and a bit of creaminess as well. Like, you know, fruit, chewy candies that are a little bit sort of creamy. I don't know any brand names off the top of my head, but like, I think they were called fruit salads in the UK, but it's sort of like a candy which is creamy in nature, but has these sort of bright, fruity notes. Texture, or the finish, is a bit furry and a bit dry, so I'm not particularly in love with that. Look at those leaves though. Look at those leaves. Nice pickings, pretty even color. Really nice quality picking. You know, whoever made this tea, it wasn't just commodity. They did make it with some love. Second infusion, you're expecting to get a little bit more of that sourness from the inner leaf material, and it's there, but it's nice. It just complements the freshness of the tea. Look, this is not a tea which I would purchase. This is not a tea which I would really recommend to people, but considering the teas that I've tasted in this series before, I would sit down and have a session with this tea, and that says a lot. Yeah, this sort of tropical fruit creamy note coming through at the end is really lovely. Very fresh, very nice. My criticisms is a bit weak in flavor. It needs to have a bit more, and the finish is too furry on my tongue. So I'm saying this is a Chinese Tie Guan Yin, or like green oolong. Probably not made with the Tie Guan Yin variety. Season is a spring tea. This is probably from Fujian province. The price point on this would be around about, I think, 12 cents a gram, something like that. The score, let's look at that scale. It's definitely above Mei. It's definitely above worth infusing. I would say that this is definitely above stashable. I would even say that this is a proper session. And I would say that with a lot of confidence. I would say it's a 7.5, a very strong beginning. Turku coming in strong. K-Citymarket. You wouldn't have thought by that name that they'd be stocking high quality teas, but this is really a good tea, if not a great tea for a supermarket. K-Citymarkets with their Tieguanyin. Let's see what they call it. They call it a Jade Superior, which is a common terminology for green oolongs. So Jade Superior oolong, 7 cents a gram, very good value for money. Oh, I was wrong. It's a Taiwanese oolong. Okay, interesting. It doesn't have a classic Taiwanese flavor. So it seems to me that it's more a Taiwanese producer, maybe sort of mimicking Tieguanyin or those sort of lighter oolongs from China. That's interesting. Taiwanese, I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, a good quality tea and a great start, PuErh. I'm hoping that this is going to continue. Let's move on to tea number 2. We're going to move to our Keep Tea Gangster Guy 1 here. And we're going to see what number 2 has to offer. And it's another oolong tea. It's another oolong tea, but this looks darker. Maybe this is their Chinese oolong. So it seems to me, and I did tell everybody who sends me teas from supermarkets to send me their tea which is representative of the higher end teas in the supermarket range. And it seems a lot of these supermarkets are moving into the sort of full rolled oolong as their higher level teas. This is definitely darker, as you can see. Darker look to it. So this has either been oxidized or roasted or a bit of both. Let's have a smell. This has been roasted. Smells lovely again. Caramelized sugars. Dark baked biscuits. Shortbreads. Cherry dark baked biscuits. Cherry shortbread. Smells really good. Are you sure this is not from a specialty tea supplier, PuErh? I'm going to have to trust you on that. Smells really good. Smells really good. And I hope that I find some great teas because, you know, I know a lot of you out there want to see me drinking bad tea and reacting to it. But really my hope is to find some excellent tea that we can celebrate and I can enjoy a session. Right, let's smell. Again, ooh. Yeah, dark baked. No, I'm going to correct myself. It does smell like it's been charcoal baked, actually. This smells like Chinese bake. Yep. Oh, nice. It's got like a really nice cherry, red fruit, red currants, a little bit of pear, a little bit of creamy pears and dark baked biscuits, like a poached pear served with a deep baked shortbread biscuits with some dried cherries in there. It's got a sweet dark baked aroma. Again, leaves look pretty decent. I mean, there's a slight unevenness here. You can see greens and darks. So the roasting or the oxidizing wasn't particularly amazing, but still pretty good. And again, nicely rolled up, not opening too quickly. Wow, that smell is great. One of the best smells from a supermarket tea that I have encountered before. As I said, I've been to Turku, Again, apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So beautiful there. I have great memories of spending time in Finland. It's a magical place, Finland. Something special about it. Okay. Color of the liquor, as you'd expect from more oxidized roasted tea, is a little bit more golden whiskey colored. Here we go. Let's taste this. So I'm saying that this is a baked ball rolled oolong, obviously probably from China, judging by the smell. A bit disappointing. And the disappointing note in it is this sourness that's coming through, because the aromatics are good. I'm getting pear, I'm getting like pears and biscuits, but there's a sort of metallic quality to it. Yeah, you know, it's metallic sour quality to it. It's a shame because this, it's getting stronger. It's a shame because it seems to me that this is a decent quality tea made with, some love. But I think that what's happened is that it's been stored before roasting, or in the processing, it was left with the water in the leaf for too long. And that's just developed this sour note to it. Now, Tie Guanyins have different ranges of sour. I would say that this is you've gone off the scale now. This is not Torsuen, which is the most sour. This is it feels like it's been left for 3 days with the water in the leaf, and that's just created a sour note and an astringent note. I mean, the tea is drinkable and the aromas are there. I'm getting also a sort of woody note to it, like a sort of sweet, woody, licorice note. So I'm getting licorice, pears and dark baked biscuits, but the sourness and that metallic aftertaste is not pleasant, and it is leaving me with a dry sensation. And I'm feeling a little bit woozy, and I think it might be a combination of T1 and T2, but something a bit woozy in this tea. Certainly seems to be a little bit of an effect on this tea. So I'm going to say Chinese baked oolong. Shame about that sourness. Shame that they left it in that wet environment for a bit too long, because it could have been, again, a high scoring tea. Price point on this, I would say with the baking, it should be a bit more expensive. Let's say 14 cents a gram. And the score, let's look at that scale. It's worth reinfusing. I don't think it's stashable. I don't think it's anywhere near stashable simply from that taste. I'm going to give it a 5.2. 5.2 for this tea. Let's see what it is. Dry, catching. It's a shame because it could have been a great tea. I don't know what that says. It's a brand name, I guess. Vortenvaltiatar. Vortenvaltiatar. Oolong tea, whatever that means. This is from China. It says half fermented, okay. So it's been oxidized for longer, sun-dried, rolled in bamboo baskets. It's a lot of storytelling. My suspicion is, well, no, it's not. It is definitely roasted. So they've omitted that information. 7 cents a gram, good price point for these kinds of teas. And if aroma was anything to go by, this would be a lot higher scoring. 5.2 for me. Still doing pretty good with K-Citymarket. So we've had a 7.5, a 5.2. Let's hope that we can get back up into the 7s for tea number 3. Finally, we're moving on to our tea drunk Gaiwan, which is quite fitting because I do feel the effects of that tea. Again, a good sign that these are decent quality teas. Let's see what we got with tea number 3. I hope it's not another oolong. It's not. It's not. It is a silver needle. And I have to say, a pretty decent looking silver needle. Yeah. Yeah. Liking the look of this. This is made with the shorter haired buds. So this is not Dabai, but it's a cultivar or a variety. It could be from Fujian province, more likely from another province with that shorter hair material, but it's still nice, whole buds. This looks good. This looks like a good quality tea. The color on it is nice. It has a sort of creamy, sort of pastel green color, which looks really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. Let's see what it looks like in a white Gaiwan. Oh, I am looking forward to this one here. Right. Here we go. Yeah. That looks nice. Slightly, ooh, nice aroma coming off it. Slightly darker than you would expect from a fresh silver needle, but ooh, the smell. Hey. Oh, wow, what a lovely smell. Creamy, floral smell. Marzipan and flowers. Oh, it's marzipan and grape juice and white flowers, sugars, orange blossom, nutty marzipan note coming through, sweet almonds. Wow, that smells amazing. Hopefully this is going to this time deliver on the taste as it does on the smell, because that smells really, really good. Really, really good. Oh, and it keeps going with the wet leaf smell. Creamy and sweet like honeysuckle and cream and orange blossom. Mixed in with some hazelnuts and almonds. Sweet marzipan. A little bit of guava and pear, a little bit of those sort of more creamy fruits. Oh, you could spend a long time sniffing these leaves, these buds, I should say. Wow, really up there with top level silver needle aroma. Almost smells a bit aged. It has a sort of nutty sugariness, that marzipan confection that is unusual in a fresh silver needle. This is clearly a silver needle white tea. It smells like it's from, it could be from Fujian. I would say that it's more likely that it comes from another province, but it could be Fujianese. Oh, I wish I'd put more in. I have to do this, sorry. I really want to load this up and give this a long brew. I have great expectations for this tea. Normally I'm a bit cautious with my leaves, but this one needs to brew. So I'm going to let that brew. If you don't know about silver needle tea, check out our video where we go and explore white tea in China. You can learn a lot about white tea. Wow, I forgot to give Piggy the rinse, but you'll get some, Piggy, you'll get some. This smells really good. Like to the point where if I had received this as a sample, I would be rubbing my hands, hoping that we had found a Mei Leaf tea. That smells really good. Orange blossom, creams, marzipans. What's not to love about that? A bit of honeysuckle sweetness, like similar to a Tieguanyin sort of floral sweetness happening as well. I'm letting this brew because it's buds. with the fir, it takes longer for the water to really get into those tea leaves, tea buds. Here we go. Am I just tea drunk? Or is this tea something special? Oh, the aroma on it. If the taste is half as good as the aroma, this is getting a high score. Okay. Slightly nervous. Ooh, look at that. Look at the thickness. Look at the hairs on the surface. This is definitely a nice thick tea. Thick. Soft finish. Creamy. Got a jasmine finish to it, a jasmine sweetness. So I'm starting with marzipans and creams, moving into orange blossom, moving into a jasmine sweet finish. Oh, really good. Really good tea. By far, the best supermarket tea that I have ever tasted from these series. PuErh, you've made my day today. This is a tea that I will definitely be keeping. Got one more session out of it. Just a lovely, if you've ever tasted our Guangxi Silver Needle, it has a very similar profile to that tea. Just full of like walking through a summer field of flowers and blossoms and then like sitting down and having some marzipans and some creams and that orange blossom is there. Just really beautiful, unashamed bouquet of aromatics that's just flooding this whole room here. And the texture is relatively soft. I will come to some criticism soon, but let's focus on all of the positives, and there are many. Slight savory note happening there. I don't mean this in a bad way. Like sage leaf. You know how sage has that very savory note, but still herbaceous. A little bit of dried grass, a little bit of hay, but full of aromatics and a perfect representation of a high quality silver needle. Amazing that this is in a supermarket. Now, criticisms. A bit too dry. Finish is a bit short, it's a bit flat. I wish it persisted. It's great aroma and taste in the mouth. After you swallow, it loses a bit. It goes a bit chalky. A bit dry, a bit stony in terms of its finish. Not unpleasant, but just you're wishing that all of that beautiful sort of crescendo of aromatics that comes from the smell and the taste would just end in this beautiful finale of lingering sweetness, and it doesn't. That's the only criticism that I have for this tea. But this is a high quality silver needle. I'm going to say, just as a guess, Guangxi province. Price point on this is going to be closer to the sort of 20 cents a gram mark. And the score, let's look at the score here. This is going to be a high score. This is definitely above a 7. It's more than a proper session. This is above an 8. I have to recommend it, which means I need to give the brand name for it, because that's what we said. If it's above an 8, it gets a brand name. Is it high enough to call it a super high grade? Judging by that finish, the fact that it doesn't leave me with enough, I'm going to give this an 8.6. Very, very high scoring. If it had more lingering aftertaste, it would be in the 9s and could even be close enough to be selected for a Mei Leaf tea. I really, really, really like this tea. This could happily sit amongst the shelves of specialist tea stores. Hats off to K-Citymarket. Credit where credit is due. We have dissed a lot of supermarket teas, quite rightly in my opinion, because they've been some very substandard teas. But K-Citymarket has come correct, and Tapio, you have sent in a selection which I think is to be admired. Even Piggy gets a little bit of the tea here. So we had a 7.5, 5.2 and an 8.6 for sure, the highest scoring teas. Let's quickly check what this is. Again, brand name is going to be, is that the brand name? Hopeanupu. Again, apologies. I'm not sure if that's the brand name. If it's not the brand name, then we'll throw the brand name up somewhere here so you know which tea it is. I recommend this tea if you want to find this tea. 17 cents a gram. Again, good price point. It is from Fujian. Okay, surprises me. March, April, they give me some information. March, April, so early spring. First picking, so it's a first flush tea. I do not doubt it. It tastes like a first flush tea. It's a high quality, spring picked, Fujianese, Chinese silver needle made with a non-traditional, I would say, cultivar, but those orange blossom notes are very, very addictive. And that marzipan, I would say, it doesn't give me a date, but I would guess that this is a couple of years old. That would be my guess, because it just seems to have brought out a little bit more of that nuttiness, and it's been stored well. Hey, I've got only good things to say about supermarkets that stock these kinds of teas. Chapeau, hats off. Congratulations to K-Citymarket. Thank you so much, Tapio. You have made my day. A great, great tea from a supermarket and a great selection. That second tea could have been a very special tea as well if it hadn't just been left for a bit too long in a wet environment. Other than that, some quality teas. I feel like I should end the series here on a high note, but hey, if you want to send more supermarket teas to me, then I am willing to taste some more. Make sure that you put them in an envelope that says supermarket tea so I can't look at them, so I can give them to Celine and she can hide them away and give me all the information so I'm tasting blind. And if you can match this, I'll be very, very happy. Thank you, Tapio, and well done, K-Citymarket, a quality silver needle and some quality oolongs too. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos, taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing meileaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, I'm Don from Mei Leaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.